Have you ever wondered why some people seem to effortlessly attract love, while others struggle to feel truly appreciated? It's a question that often crosses our minds, especially when we feel invisible or overlooked. But what if I told you that the key to being loved lies in two fundamental reasons? Principles deeply rooted in philosophy, particularly in the ideas of Friedrich Nietzsche. We all want to be valued, to have our presence noticed and cherished. But sometimes, despite our best efforts, we end up feeling unimportant, like we are simply one of the many faces in the crowd. The truth is, the way we perceive ourselves and how we project that perception to others can significantly influence the relationships we form. In today's video, we are going to delve into these two essential reasons why people fall in love with you, according to Nietzsche's profound ideas. These concepts are not about superficial attraction or fleeting affection. They go deeper, touching on the core of who you are and how you interact with the world. By understanding and applying these principles, you can transform your relationships and foster deeper connections, not only with others, but also with yourself. Stay with me until the end, because the second reason will reveal something that might completely shift your perspective on love and personal relationships. So, make sure to stick around. Let's dive into the first reason people fall in love with you. A reason that goes beyond appearances and superficial traits, something far more substantial and lasting. Nietzsche's philosophy offers a unique and somewhat controversial perspective on love. Most people think of love as a simple emotional bond or attraction based on physical appearance or personality. However, Nietzsche challenges this superficial view and suggests that the true foundation of love lies in something deeper: admiration for a person's inner strength and character. In Nietzsche's view, love is not just about the way someone looks or how they make you feel in the moment. It's about the strength of their will, their drive to live authentically and pursue greatness, no matter the circumstances. This is where the concept of the will to power comes into play. For Nietzsche, the will to power is not about controlling others or dominating the world, but about the inner drive to overcome obstacles, to grow, and to become the best version of oneself. People are naturally drawn to others who embody this will to power, who exude strength, purpose, and the willingness to improve continuously. It's not about perfection, far from it, but rather about the relentless pursuit of self-mastery. The more a person strives to reach their full potential, the more attractive they become to others. This is why some individuals, despite not fitting conventional beauty standards or being the most outgoing, can attract so much attention and love. It's because they radiate a type of strength that transcends physical appearances. Their presence is magnetic because they are aligned with their true self, and that authenticity is what others are drawn to. Take, for example, people who have faced significant hardships in life and emerge stronger for it. These individuals often inspire admiration and even love, because their resilience shows an inner power that resonates with others. The strength to keep going, to face challenges head-on, and to stay true to oneself in the process is what Nietzsche sees as the heart of true attraction. But how does this apply to your own life? Think about the times when you felt most loved or admired. Wasn't it when you were in your element, chasing something that truly mattered to you? Whether it was in a personal project, a career ambition, or a spiritual pursuit, your passion and commitment to growth likely made you more appealing to those around you. In fact, the more you invest in your own growth and personal development, the more others will notice and love you, not for what you look like on the outside, but for the fire you carry inside. This concept of love as a reflection of personal strength and growth is incredibly liberating. It means that love is not just something you receive, but something you actively cultivate within yourself, through your actions, mindset, and choices. It's about becoming someone who is worthy of admiration, not because of how you look or what you own, but because of the way you approach life with integrity and determination. But there's more to this philosophy. As we'll explore in the next section, Nietzsche suggests that love is also intricately linked to authenticity, being true to yourself, no matter what others think. So, let's take a look at how authenticity plays a critical role in attracting love, beyond just the strength of your inner drive. One of the most profound ideas Nietzsche offers about love is the connection between authenticity and attraction. In a world where people often try to mold themselves to fit societal expectations or the desires of others, Nietzsche argues that true love only thrives when individuals are willing to be unapologetically themselves. The more authentic you are, the more you open the door for others to truly connect with you on a deeper level. Authenticity is a rare commodity in a world that constantly pressures individuals to conform. Yet, Nietzsche suggests that this very authenticity is the foundation of deep, meaningful relationships. When we stop pretending to be something we are not, we start attracting people who love us for who we truly are, not for the version we show to fit in, but for the real, unfiltered self we sometimes hide away. Think about it. When you are around someone who is completely themselves, unafraid to express their true thoughts, emotions, and desires, there's an undeniable magnetism. People naturally gravitate toward those who have the courage to be real. This authenticity gives others permission to be themselves as well, creating a bond based on mutual respect and admiration. The more we try to be someone we're not, the more we risk attracting people who love us for the wrong reasons. These relationships are often superficial because they are based on a facade, what we think the other person wants us to be. And while this may initially draw people in, it doesn't lead to lasting connections. Why? Because it's based on an illusion, not the truth of who we are. To further illustrate this point, let's look at a real-life example. Imagine someone who spends years perfecting their appearance or imitating the traits they believe will make them more attractive. Perhaps they try to be more outgoing or take on interests they think others will admire. While this might yield some attention, it's not a foundation for lasting love. The moment they show their true self, flaws, insecurities, and all, the relationship may crumble because it was never based on authenticity. On the other hand, when you embrace your authentic self, your quirks, flaws, passions, and imperfections, you open the door to relationships grounded in sincerity. It's not about pleasing others or pretending to be someone you're not. It's about being secure in your own identity and finding people who are drawn to you because of it. This doesn't mean being authentic is always easy. In fact, it can often be quite challenging, especially in a society that rewards conformity. But Nietzsche teaches us that the most fulfilling connections are those that arise when we stop hiding behind a mask and let our true selves shine through. The more you embrace your authenticity, the more you start to attract people who truly appreciate you. Not for your appearance, your social status, or your ability to meet certain expectations, but for the person you are at your core. And as a result, these connections are far deeper and more meaningful than anything built on false pretenses. To illustrate this even further, let's look at the simple act of vulnerability. When you allow yourself to be vulnerable, when you show the world your true feelings, your fears, your joys, others see the depth of your character. They feel invited to do the same, and in this exchange, a genuine bond is formed. Love, in this sense, becomes something far richer and more enduring than mere attraction. It becomes a partnership built on mutual respect for each other's true selves. So, as you think about your own relationships, ask yourself, are you being true to who you are, or are you still wearing a mask hoping to fit into someone else's mold? Nietzsche's philosophy invites us to step out of that mold and embrace authenticity, because that's where true love begins. In the next section, we will explore another powerful aspect of love, one that is rooted in self-respect and how it influences the relationships we build. So let's dive into how self-love and respect play crucial roles in the love we attract. One of the most profound teachings Nietzsche offers is the importance of self-respect when it comes to love. He argues that love, whether romantic or platonic, is not only about how we are seen by others, but how we see ourselves. If you do not respect and value yourself, it becomes impossible to attract genuine love from others. Self-respect is the foundation upon which every meaningful relationship is built. If you cannot look in the mirror and acknowledge your own worth, it's difficult for others to see it too. When you set boundaries, honor your values, and take care of your emotional well-being, you send a clear message to the world. I am worthy of love, respect, and consideration. Nietzsche famously said, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how." This is a profound reflection on the power of having a sense of self-worth. When we respect ourselves, we give ourselves the strength to endure life's challenges. This same sense of strength and resilience makes us more attractive to others. Think about it. People are naturally drawn to individuals who exude confidence and self-assurance. When you are comfortable with who you are and confident in your values and beliefs, others will respect you more. Self-respect isn't just about knowing your worth, it's about demonstrating that worth through your actions and decisions. People will treat you the way you allow them to, and if you set high standards for yourself, others will follow suit. Self-respect also means not tolerating mistreatment. If you let people treat you poorly or take advantage of you, you are inadvertently sending the message that you don't value yourself. On the other hand, if you stand firm in your beliefs and demand the respect you deserve, others will recognize your worth and love you for it. It's essential to understand that self-respect is not about arrogance or pride. It's about acknowledging your intrinsic value as a person. It's about taking responsibility for your life, making choices that align with your true self, and standing up for what you believe in. It's about recognizing that you are enough, just as you are, and that you don't need to conform to others' expectations to be worthy of love. When you respect yourself, you attract people who also respect you. This is where love, in its most authentic form, is born. It's a love based on mutual respect, understanding, and admiration. You will draw people into your life who value you for who you truly are, not for the version of yourself you think they want to see. Think about the relationships in your life, whether with friends, family, or romantic partners. The most fulfilling ones are those where both individuals respect each other's individuality and values. When both parties bring their authentic selves into the relationship, without compromising who they are, the love that flourishes is deeper and more sustainable. Moreover, the love that comes from self-respect isn't one that demands constant validation or approval from others. You won't feel the need to seek out constant reassurance because you are already grounded in your own worth. This self-assuredness creates space for others to love you in a healthy, balanced way. Now, this doesn't mean that you'll never experience rejection or hardships in relationships. What it does mean, however, is that you will be able to handle these challenges with grace and resilience, because your self-respect will give you the strength to bounce back and keep moving forward. In fact, it's often through these challenges that we grow even stronger, more confident in who we are, and more capable of attracting love based on mutual respect. In the next section, we will explore another powerful aspect of love: trust and strength. Nietzsche suggests that true love is not only about self-respect, but also about how we handle vulnerability and trust in others. Let's dive into how vulnerability and strength are intertwined when it comes to love and how they contribute to deeper connections. Trust and strength are fundamental elements of Nietzsche's philosophy when it comes to love. At first glance, these two concepts might seem unrelated, but when explored through Nietzsche's lens, they are actually deeply intertwined. The true strength in love does not come from control or domination, but from vulnerability and the ability to trust. It is through the interplay of strength and trust that we are able to form deep, meaningful connections with others. Nietzsche, though often seen as promoting strength and resilience, also emphasizes that true power comes from the courage to be vulnerable. Vulnerability is often misunderstood as a weakness. Many people are hesitant to show their true selves, fearing rejection or judgment. However, Nietzsche suggests that it is through our vulnerabilities that we can truly connect with others on a deep level. When we expose our true selves, our fears, our dreams, our flaws, we invite others to do the same. In this exchange of trust, love can blossom. Trust is a cornerstone of any meaningful relationship. It is built over time through consistent actions, honesty, and the willingness to be vulnerable. Nietzsche argues that in order to truly love and be loved, we must trust not only others, but also ourselves. We must trust in our ability to face challenges, to be vulnerable, and to love fully, even when it feels uncertain. Without trust, relationships are fragile, built on shifting sands rather than a solid foundation. when we trust ourselves, we no longer rely on external validation to feel worthy of love. We know that we are enough, just as we are. This self-trust allows us to love others without fear of rejection, without holding back. We can be fully present in relationships, giving and receiving love freely, knowing that the love we offer is genuine and not tied to any need for approval. But trust is not just about the ability to be vulnerable, it's also about strength. Strength in love is not about control or power over another person, but about maintaining your integrity and standing firm in your values, even when things are difficult. It is the strength to be honest, to express your true feelings, and to stand up for yourself when necessary. It is the ability to remain true to your beliefs and your needs, while also respecting the beliefs and needs of others. Nietzsche's concept of the will to power is key here. The will to power, as he defines it, is not about dominating others, but about asserting your true self and your strength in the face of challenges. In relationships, this means having the courage to trust in your own instincts and to communicate your needs openly and honestly. It also means having the strength to let go of relationships that no longer serve you, trusting that you are capable of finding healthier, more fulfilling connections. The dynamic between trust and strength in love can be seen in the relationships where both individuals are strong enough to trust one another, but also vulnerable enough to be honest about their fears and desires. When both people in a relationship are open and willing to trust each other, the love that develops is deep and lasting. Think about a time when you trusted someone fully and allowed yourself to be vulnerable. Wasn't it a moment of true connection? The depth of that bond was likely a result of both trust and strength. Trust in the other person and strength in yourself to be open and honest. Similarly, when others trust you and you are strong enough to be authentic and reliable, the love they feel for you will be based on a genuine connection, not on surface-level attraction or fleeting emotions. As we move forward, we will explore how love is not just about trusting and being vulnerable, but also about continuous growth and self-improvement. Nietzsche teaches that love, like life itself, is a process of becoming, a journey of self-discovery and mutual development. Let's dive into how self-improvement and love go hand in hand in creating lasting relationships. Love, according to Nietzsche, is not a static feeling or something that simply happens overnight. Instead, love is an ongoing process of becoming, a continual journey of self-improvement and mutual growth. This philosophy stands in stark contrast to the romanticized notion of love that we often see in movies or hear about in fairy tales, where love is portrayed as an end in itself, a final destination. For Nietzsche, love is dynamic. It is something that evolves as both individuals involved grow, change, and challenge each other to be better versions of themselves. If you view love as a process rather than a state of being, you start to realize that it's not about finding someone who is perfect, but about finding someone with whom you can grow, learn, and become your best self. One of Nietzsche's key teachings is the concept of becoming who you are. He believed that true happiness and fulfillment come when we stop imitating others and start creating our own path in life. Love, in this sense, is a reflection of this philosophy. It thrives not when we cling to a fixed idea of what we think love should look like, but when we are open to the process of growth and transformation together. In relationships, this means that love isn't just about shared moments of joy or affection. It's about challenging each other to grow. It's about encouraging one another to become more than what we were the day before. Nietzsche suggests that love, in its truest form, compels us to rise to new heights, to shed our old habits, and to push beyond the boundaries we've set for ourselves. Think about your own relationships for a moment. Have you ever been in a relationship where you felt stagnant? Perhaps it was a relationship that became comfortable to the point where you stopped challenging one another. On the other hand, think of the relationships where you were constantly learning, whether through conflict, support, or shared experiences. In those relationships, you were likely growing alongside the other person, becoming more of who you were meant to be. This process of mutual growth in love also involves learning how to deal with conflict and challenges. Nietzsche emphasized that struggle and suffering are inevitable parts of life, and love is no exception. In fact, he believed that overcoming challenges together could strengthen the bond between individuals. A relationship that isn't tested by adversity is not one that has fully embraced the dynamic, transformative nature of love. When you face difficulties in a relationship, rather than viewing them as obstacles, consider them opportunities for growth. How can you support each other through these challenges? How can you both become better versions of yourselves through the process of overcoming adversity together? These questions transform love from a passive experience into an active, ongoing process of self-improvement and development. Self-improvement is not only about enhancing your personal abilities, career, or physical appearance. It's about deepening your understanding of yourself, confronting your weaknesses, and working to be the best partner, friend, and individual you can be. As you grow, you become more capable of fostering healthier, more fulfilling relationships, and in turn, your relationships will encourage you to continue evolving. Nietzsche's idea of becoming who you are also extends to the way we view love. Love is not something you find or achieve, it's something you continually create with the person you're with. It's about both people embarking on a journey of mutual transformation, where each person brings something new to the table, encouraging the other to grow. In this light, love becomes a reflection of personal growth, mutual respect, and the desire to help each other reach their fullest potential. When you view love as an ongoing process of becoming, you understand that it is not a destination, but a journey, one that is never truly complete because there is always room for growth. In the next section, we will discuss how independence plays a crucial role in love and how it enhances the strength of a relationship. Nietzsche teaches us that true love thrives not through dependence, but through mutual respect for each other's individuality and autonomy. Let's explore how love is strengthened when both individuals maintain their independence while growing together. Nietzsche's concept of love is far from the traditional idea of dependency or attachment. In fact, one of his most striking teachings is that true love thrives on independence. While this might seem counterintuitive in a world that often idealizes the idea of soulmates and being one with someone, Nietzsche believed that the healthiest and most enduring relationships are those where both individuals maintain their independence and respect each other's autonomy. For Nietzsche, independence does not mean emotional detachment or isolation. Rather, it means that each person in the relationship remains true to their own identity, values, and aspirations. Love, in its purest form, is not about relying on someone else for your happiness, security, or sense of self-worth. It is about two individuals coming together with a shared understanding that they each have their own paths to follow, their own goals to pursue, and their own individuality to protect. When two people are fully independent, they do not lose themselves in the relationship. Instead, they bring their whole selves to the relationship, each person continuing to grow and evolve while also supporting the other's journey. This kind of love is not rooted in neediness or dependence, but in mutual respect and a recognition that each person is capable of achieving their own greatness. One of the greatest gifts of maintaining independence in a relationship is that it allows for a deeper kind of connection. When you are secure in yourself and your own identity, you do not rely on the other person to fill gaps in your self-esteem or sense of worth. Instead, you can freely love and support the other person because your love is not contingent upon your partner's ability to make you feel complete. Think about a time when you felt truly loved by someone. Wasn't it when they allowed you the space to be yourself? Perhaps they respected your individuality, encouraged your personal growth, and celebrated your achievements without feeling threatened by your success. That kind of love is powerful because it is not based on possession or control, but on mutual respect for each other's autonomy. In contrast, relationships that are based on dependence can quickly become toxic. When one person relies too heavily on the other for emotional support, validation, or a sense of self-worth, it can create an unhealthy dynamic. This kind of attachment can lead to feelings of resentment, suffocation, and a lack of personal growth. When we place all of our happiness in another person, we risk losing our sense of self and our ability to stand on our own 2 feet. However, in relationships where both individuals maintain their independence, the love between them is more resilient. Each person has the strength to weather life's challenges individually, but they also have the support of someone who respects their need for autonomy. They do not see the other as a source of their happiness, but as a companion in their journey of life. Independence in love also means that both individuals are able to pursue their own passions and dreams. They are not confined to one another's expectations or desires. Instead, they are free to explore their own interests, build their own careers, and grow as individuals, without feeling guilty or pressured to conform. When both people in a relationship have the space to grow and evolve on their own terms, they can bring fresh perspectives, new ideas, and renewed energy into the relationship. True love, according to Nietzsche, is not about merging into one entity or relying on the other for emotional survival. It is about two whole individuals coming together, each one with their own life dreams and passions, yet choosing to support and care for each other through the mutual respect of their independence. As we move forward, we will look at how love can sometimes be misunderstood as perfection, but Nietzsche challenges us to see love in its true form, as a process that includes both joy and hardship. In the next section, we will explore how embracing imperfection can lead to deeper, more genuine love. In a society obsessed with perfection, the idea of love often gets tied to unrealistic expectations. We grow up seeing love portrayed in movies and books as an idealized version of connection, one without flaws, struggles, or complications. Yet Nietzsche's philosophy on love invites us to abandon these superficial notions and instead embrace love as a force that thrives in imperfection. For Nietzsche, love is not about creating a flawless relationship or finding a perfect partner. In fact, he would argue that expecting perfection in love sets us up for disappointment and failure. The truth of love, according to Nietzsche, lies in its messiness, its challenges, and its constant evolution. Love is an imperfect journey, and it is precisely in this imperfection that its true beauty lies. Love involves accepting the flaws and shortcomings of both ourselves and others. Rather than trying to mold ourselves or our partners into an ideal image, Nietzsche urges us to embrace the imperfections that make us human. It is through these imperfections that we experience growth, learning, and connection. By accepting ourselves and our partners as we are, flaws and all, we create space for genuine love to flourish. Think about your own experiences with love. How often do we place expectations on our relationships, believing that they must be perfect in order to be valid or worthwhile? We may demand constant affection, flawless communication, or unwavering loyalty. While these are certainly important aspects of any healthy relationship, expecting them to be present at all times can create unnecessary pressure. Relationships are dynamic, and perfection is not a realistic goal. When we learn to accept each other's imperfections, we open the door to a love that is grounded in reality, not fantasy. This concept of embracing imperfection is not only about accepting flaws in others, but also about accepting ourselves. Nietzsche's philosophy encourages us to be honest about our own weaknesses and to stop pretending to be someone we're not. When we acknowledge our own imperfections, we free ourselves from the burden of trying to live up to unattainable ideals. This self-acceptance allows us to approach love with honesty and openness, rather than with fear of rejection or failure. Moreover, it's through overcoming the imperfections in love that we develop deeper, more meaningful connections. When we face challenges together, whether they are personal struggles, differences of opinion, or external difficulties, we learn more about each other. We discover new dimensions of ourselves and our partners, and we develop a stronger bond through these shared experiences. Nietzsche believed that love should not be an escape from hardship, but rather an opportunity to face life's challenges together and grow stronger as a result. Imperfection also means that love is not static. It is a living, evolving force that requires constant work and adjustment. Love is not a destination, but a journey. It changes and adapts as we do. The person you fall in love with today may not be the same person you are with years from now, and that's okay. Love, in Nietzsche's view, is about embracing these changes and growing together, rather than holding on to an idealized version of the relationship. By accepting imperfection, we also begin to cultivate a love that is based on authenticity rather than idealization. When we stop searching for perfection and instead focus on growing together, we create a relationship that is more resilient, more flexible, and ultimately more rewarding. This type of love is rooted in a deep understanding of each other's complexities and a willingness to accept each other, flaws and all. As we move forward in this journey of love, it's important to remember that it is not about perfection, but about the beauty of embracing our imperfections together. In the next section, we will explore the importance of willpower in love and how the strength to stay true to your values and principles is crucial to attracting and maintaining love. Nietzsche's concept of the will to power is not just about dominance, but about the strength to choose love every day, even in the face of challenges. Love, according to Nietzsche, is not a passive emotion or something that simply happens to us. Instead, it is an active, deliberate choice, a constant act of willpower. Nietzsche's philosophy emphasizes the importance of asserting our will, not only in terms of personal ambition and growth, but also in relationships. The will to power is central to his thinking about love. It's the inner strength to choose love, to nurture it and to keep it alive, even when faced with obstacles or difficulties. In Nietzsche's view, love is not a state of blissful surrender, but a conscious decision to engage, to care, and to remain committed. It requires effort, intention, and, most importantly, willpower. Just as we must exert effort in our personal growth and the pursuit of our goals, we must also put energy into our relationships. Love doesn't just happen on its own. It requires conscious effort and the willingness to invest in the other person, to maintain the relationship, and to overcome challenges together. One of the key aspects of this act of willpower is the decision to stay true to our values and principles. Nietzsche believed that love, like all aspects of life, must align with our core beliefs. It's not enough to simply go along with the flow or to choose a relationship for convenience or superficial reasons. True love, for Nietzsche, is rooted in the strength to stay true to who we are and to choose partners who also align with our values and principles. When we choose love as an act of willpower, we are not allowing ourselves to be passive recipients of affection or validation. Instead, we are actively shaping our relationships, making decisions that align with our personal growth and vision for the future. This means that in a relationship, you take responsibility for your part in its success or failure. You don't simply wait for the other person to make things work. You contribute to the relationship with intention, effort, and care. This concept of willpower in love also ties back to Nietzsche's idea of self-overcoming. To truly love someone, you must first love yourself and be committed to your own growth. When you are fully invested in your own development, you bring more to the relationship. Your love is not dependent on what the other person can give you, but rather on your own capacity to give, to care, and to choose love every day. The strength to commit to love in this way is not just about staying in a relationship. It's about choosing to love even when it's difficult, when times are tough, or when the spark seems to fade. It's easy to love someone when everything is going well, but true love reveals itself in times of adversity. The will to stay committed, to choose your partner over and over again, even through hardship, is a testament to the strength and resilience of the relationship. For example, in a long-term relationship, both partners will inevitably face challenges. There will be disagreements, misunderstandings, and moments of doubt. However, when both individuals possess the strength to stay true to their commitment, to work through the challenges, and to keep choosing love, the relationship deepens. It's this ongoing choice that strengthens the bond over time and transforms a fleeting connection into a lasting one. Nietzsche's idea of the will to power teaches us that love is not a passive experience, but an active force. It is a conscious decision to stay aligned with our principles, to choose the relationship each day, and to overcome any challenges that arise. This kind of love is not about seeking perfection or avoiding difficulty, but about embracing the reality of relationships and making a deliberate choice to love, regardless of the circumstances. As we conclude this section, it's important to remember that love is not simply something that happens to us. It is something we create and nurture through willpower, intentionality, and choice. It is a dynamic process that requires effort and resilience, but it is also one of the most powerful and rewarding experiences in life. In the next section, we will explore how love is often misunderstood as being perfect, but Nietzsche urges us to recognize that true love is not about perfection. It's about embracing the flaws, challenges, and imperfections that come with it, and using those as opportunities for growth. As we wrap up this exploration of Nietzsche's philosophy on love, it becomes clear that love is not a simple, idealized emotion that happens to us by chance. Instead, true love is an active, ongoing process, a deliberate act of willpower, self-respect, authenticity, and growth. Nietzsche invites us to rethink the conventional notions of love and to embrace a deeper, more complex understanding of what it means to truly connect with another person. Love is not about seeking perfection in ourselves or in others. It's about accepting imperfections, both in ourselves and in our partners, and choosing to love despite these flaws. It's about the willingness to grow together, to face challenges, and to support each other in becoming the best versions of ourselves. Love, in Nietzsche's view, is not static but dynamic. It evolves as we evolve, and it thrives when both individuals are committed to their own growth and the growth of the relationship. True love is rooted in strength, not the strength to control or dominate, but the strength to be vulnerable, to trust, and to be authentic. It's the willpower to choose love each day, even in the face of adversity, and to maintain a sense of independence and self-respect while building a deep connection with another. Ultimately, love, according to Nietzsche, is not about finding someone to complete us, but about two whole individuals coming together to create something greater than the sum of their parts. It's about continually choosing each other, embracing both the joy and the imperfection of the relationship, and growing together in a journey that never truly ends. Now, I'd love to hear your thoughts. What aspect of Nietzsche's philosophy on love resonates with you the most? Have you experienced love as a process of growth and self-improvement? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If this video helped you reframe your view on love, don't forget to like and share it with others who may benefit from this perspective. And for more insights into Nietzsche's teachings and how they can transform your relationships, be sure to check out the next video linked here. As we reflect on Nietzsche's teachings about love, we are reminded that it is not a passive or fleeting experience, but a continuous act of choice, action, and personal growth. It is through our willpower, authenticity, and self-respect that we nurture and build meaningful, lasting relationships. Nietzsche's philosophy calls for us to embrace love as an evolving process, one that requires us to let go of idealized fantasies and instead embrace the complex, imperfect nature of human connection. It's important to note that Nietzsche's view of love is grounded in personal freedom and autonomy. Love, in his eyes, should never be a cage or a means of control. Instead, love should allow both individuals to thrive independently while offering each other mutual support. True love doesn't seek to merge identities or create dependency. It celebrates individuality within the context of a shared journey. One of the key takeaways from Nietzsche's philosophy is the idea that love requires an ongoing commitment to self-improvement and growth. Far from being a mere emotional response, love is a choice that demands conscious effort. This concept challenges the traditional romantic notion that love is something you simply fall into. Instead, Nietzsche urges us to understand love as an act of will. The decision to invest in another person, to remain dedicated, and to keep growing together through life's ups and downs. Moreover, Nietzsche emphasizes that self-respect and self-love are foundational to any meaningful relationship. You cannot expect to receive love from others if you do not first respect yourself. By practicing self-respect and maintaining a healthy sense of independence, you set the tone for how others will treat you. Relationships based on mutual respect and admiration for each other's individuality are far more fulfilling than those rooted in dependency or the need for validation. Another important element of Nietzsche's view of love is the recognition that it is not perfect. Far too often, we set ourselves up for disappointment by expecting love to be flawless, a constant state of bliss and harmony. Nietzsche invites us to reconsider this idealization of love and to accept that love, in its truest form, involves flaws, imperfections, and struggles. It is in these challenges, however, that the beauty of love reveals itself. Love is not about seeking perfection, but about growing together through life's imperfections and learning to love each other more deeply as a result. In practical terms, Nietzsche's philosophy encourages us to view challenges and conflicts within relationships as opportunities for growth rather than threats. When we encounter difficulties, whether they be misunderstandings, differences in values, or external pressures, we are given the chance to learn more about ourselves and our partner. How we respond to these challenges can either strengthen the bond or break it. The true test of love is not how we behave when things are easy, but how we show up when things get tough. True love, according to Nietzsche, also requires an active engagement with life. Love is not just about emotional or physical connection, it's about living life to the fullest and encouraging our partners to do the same. A relationship built on this understanding is one where both individuals are constantly striving to grow, evolve, and achieve their full potential, not just as individuals but also as a couple. It's about challenging each other to become better, not out of obligation, but because both partners are motivated by a shared desire to grow together. It's also important to understand that Nietzsche's concept of the will to power is not about domination or control over others. Instead, it's about having the strength to act in alignment with one's true self, to pursue one's goals, and to stay true to one's values. In the context of love, the will to power is the inner strength to continually choose to invest in the relationship, to remain honest and authentic, and to stay committed to the process of mutual growth. This journey of self-discovery and love is not a linear one. It's filled with twists, turns, setbacks, and breakthroughs. But what Nietzsche teaches us is that love, in its truest form, is not something that happens to us. It is something we create and choose each day. It is a force that grows and deepens through intentional effort, mutual respect, and the willingness to embrace imperfection. As we conclude this discussion on Nietzsche's view of love, it's crucial to remember that love is not an end goal, but a continuous process. The love that truly lasts is the love that evolves, challenges, and inspires. It's the love that encourages both individuals to grow, to become the best versions of themselves, and to navigate life's challenges together with resilience and authenticity. So I ask you, how do you view love in your own life? Is it something you actively choose and nurture, or is it something that you expect to simply happen? What steps can you take today to bring more intention, authenticity, and self-respect into your relationships? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below, whether it's a personal experience or a reflection on what Nietzsche has taught us about love. If this video has helped you gain a new perspective on love and relationships, please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing for more insights. Don't forget to check out the next video, where we will dive deeper into how Nietzsche's ideas can transform other areas of your life, from personal growth to achieving your fullest potential.